Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines here. How deep is this river of a potential conflict of interest go back? And how far does it go back, right? We're going to get into some of that today. Goldman Sachs, CFTC, Russia, ECB, IMF, BIS. Ripple's got a new website, and it's speaking volumes to me, and I think it will to you, too. We got central bank news. We also got the case deadline, which legal analysts are saying could be over before the end of this year. One legal analyst is saying not so fast. We're going to go over it. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen. Everything that we're talking about here today, $1.873 trillion market cap for crypto, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking at off by 1.2% right now. We'll see what's going on here. But Bitcoin right now, 38,900, Ethereum 2,800 plus. And we see XRP at the number 8 spot at 61 cents. I don't mind telling you, don't tell Mrs. Backup, but I just bought a big ass bag of XRP, and I just got a bag of XDC because it just got listed on Uphold. Yes, it did. Right now, we're ranging between 62 cents on the bottom and 65 cents on the top, and it is April 29, 2022. Good afternoon, everybody. By the way, keep a lookout, ladies and gentlemen, Digital Perspectives on TikTok. I am about to release highlight clips of the show and highlight reels. Keep a lookout for it. It is going to be hot, H-O-T, hot, coming near you. Digital Perspectives, no spaces on TikTok. Give us a follow. Look right here. This is the clip right here with the head of blockchain research, Dr. Martin Heisboik, talks about XDC and XRP cashback credit cards. Let him tell you.
Embrace the entire XDC blockchain, token, associated tokens, and we will continue to deepen the relationship with Shinifin in payments, institutional solutions, and trade solutions in every aspect and in the long term. Maybe one day we'll even have a credit card where you earn cashbacks in XDC or XRP or whatever. I am not making predictions. I'm not going to give you a timeline. I have learned not to trust my developers. I trust them with the code, but I don't trust them with dates and timelines, okay? They don't keep calendars and clocks in their windowless basements.
Hey, you know what? It's still exciting. The idea of them coming out with a credit card that has XDC and XRP cash back. I tell you, it almost speaks to me that Uphold sees a big, big vision for XRP and XDC. I love it. Look right here. This is some information. I'm going to run through this really quickly and only touch on a few pieces of it. Given to me by an anonymous person in this space who is really, I hold in high regard here, and I consider him a dear friend. Is it possible that the conflict of interest from Jay Clayton and William Henman in the SEC against Ripple and Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse could be a potential rift that goes all the way back to the Yahoo days with Brad Garlinghouse when he was trying to right the ship for Yahoo? You'll see what I'm saying here. Take a look at this. I want to start with this one right here. All the way back in 2005, Yahoo purchased a 40% stake in Alibaba, $1.7 billion here, and $700 million of that in Yahoo China assets. 2006, we saw young Yahoo executive, then Vice President Brad Garlinghouse, pens the internal memo to Yahoo, which was known as and became better known as the Peanut Butter Manifesto, talking about spreading themselves too thin. In 2012, Alibaba repurchases the 40% stake from Yahoo at $7.1 billion. And we see here that new money investors included Priceline, PE firms, New Horizon, Nippon Capital, which include JP Morgan, by the way. New Horizon was founded by AKA Winston Wynn, who was the only son of former premier of China. And it says here, 2014, Alibaba files for IPO led by Hinman and Clayton. New Horizon 5 times its investment in Alibaba in connection with IPO vice chairman, and so on and so on and so on. 2014, Alibaba enters in a joint venture with Ant Financial. 2017, Clayton becomes the chair of the SEC. William Hinman for the head corporate finance division of the SEC. Alibaba acquires 33% stake in Ant Financial, which is a redo prior to the venture deal of 2014. After numerous fits and starts, Bitmain, the largest Bitcoin mining company in the world, breaks ground on what is said to become the largest Bitcoin mining facility in Rockdale, Texas. And then if you come over to here very quickly, after numerous, 2020, we see Bitmain cancel the operation agreement for a mothball Rockdale, Texas facility. 2020, founder of Bitmain, who became famous for a person translated a Bitcoin white paper written by Satoshi. China's enters into protracted corporate control battle with largest shareholder of Bitmain. December 2020, it says here Bitmain announced going a spinoff, mining related businesses, and enter the thing. The part I want to focus on for now, because there is stuff here too, but the part I want to focus on for now is the Alibaba, the Hinman Clayton connection there in the early days, and also everything that Stephan Hubert has found. Right, because everything that Stephan Hubert has found tying in the Alibaba Ant Financial wanting to purchase MoneyGram and then getting shut down by the U.S. government. And lo and behold, who came in behind that? Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple came behind that and got that partnership. And you have to wonder if all of these things really tie in to a long history of how we got to where we are today. It's going to take more research. It's all speculation. But I tell you, I think there may be something in that pile. We'll see if the influencers out here and the Twitter sleuths can get a hold of this and see what they can find. Goldman Sachs interest could speed up tokenization of real assets and NFTs. Oh, I think they know that it will. It's not worth getting too deep on. And this is very quickly to remind you that the Agriculture Committee has joint sponsors, I believe, that are introducing this new bill to give the CFTC more control, not of just cryptocurrency, but cryptocurrency exchanges and the spot market. Now, this is going to lead to probably a couple videos in the future here, because the spot market controlled by the Commodities Future Trading Commission is really, I think, where things need to be. That's the ultimate home. And if it is, I think it brings into the question about really bringing gold behind XRP as a huge form of collateral, as well as many other assets, but certainly a huge weight of gold on that front as well. That point could be made there, right? So we're going to see what happens there. There's a lot to get into about that. We will do it in the future. But quickly moving on here, remind you that I covered this the other day. Don't sleep on this, everyone. And I know most of you are not, but Russian President Vladimir Putin is discussing the idea of pegging the ruble to gold. If approved, this would directly link Russia's currency to gold bullion for the first time in more than a century. Remember, Gaddafi was going to do this also, and they killed him and drug him through the streets. Remember that? Yeah, keep that one in mind. It just tells me things may get a little worse before they get a little better over in Russia and Ukraine if that idea keeps getting pursued. But nevertheless, there is pressure, is the point of all of this, no matter how we see this unfolding in a political scheme and political landscape. Financially speaking, there is a huge pressure to that idea and notion being pursued, whether it's the digital yuan or a Russian-backed ruble backed by gold. You know, you're looking at the idea of everyone is transitioning for a better position in the new financial system. And it doesn't stop there. ECB issues expressions of interest for a CBDC prototype. Now, this gets interesting too, because the European Central Bank has launched a call for expression of the interest for payment service providers. Is that right? Banks and technology companies to join an exercise now to develop prototype user interfaces for digital euro. It's at this point that I remind you that the digital Euro Association has Ripple in it. Yeah, don't forget about that one. Central banks worldwide plan to develop their own cryptocurrencies. Yeah, we know that, but I wanted to show you this part in it as well. There are two kinds of central bank digital currencies, depending on the use they will receive. Retail CBDCs are based on distributed ledger technology. Come on in. And we know Ripple has a private ledger for the central banking system that they can use if they so desire. And there is a possibility for interest rate applications. Wholesale CBDCs, on the other hand, is the second form, right? And it allows to resolve liquidity and counterparty risk issues and improves the speed and security of financial transactions. Now, two things. We also know that Stellar is working with, I believe, the Central Bank of Ukraine on a central bank digital currency as well. So, with that in mind, what I wanted to point out here about the two different kinds is the wholesale and the retail side. That's what they're showing you here. The wholesale central bank digital currency side is an easier loop, technically speaking and technology speaking, to close. So going retail facing is a very difficult task to get this to where everyone can get the central bank digital currency to go spend for bread, milk, and haircuts and shoes, right? Or whether we're talking about wholesale central banks that probably already have it developed and they could close the loop, let's say in the 7 largest economies like the G7 or the 20 largest economies like the G20. And if they're not involving any of us, then it's really just 7 or 20 of them. How about that one? So keep that in mind as this information continues to unfold here. This is strong evidence that countries can use digital money or strong evidence that countries can use digital money to circumvent sanctions. And this is the IMF and Kristalina Georgieva saying, oh, no. This is so funny. Listen to this clip because she's telling you they can't get away with it no matter if they try or not. We are the system. Listen.
Why? Because there is still a significant role for the financial system. Different countries approach the issue of digital currency differently. Russia itself is actually moving in the direction of CBDCs, not there yet, but this is of interest to Russia. It is not yet in a place where we see evidence for this being the route around sanctions, because at different points this route gets into the financial system and the sanctions are quite clearly preventing operations.
Listen to what's going on here. Now listen to this part right here.
Sanctions, because at different points this route gets into the...
She's giving you the look on her face because at a point this route gets into the financial system. She's telling you, I don't care if they're using Bitcoin or whatever else you come up with. At some point, they're going to have to come back to cash because the real players of the world like Kristalina Georgieva at the IMF or ECB's Christine Lagarde, right? Or Jerome Powell at the Fed or anyone else at a central bank. David Malpass at the World Bank, they're not accepting Bitcoin. So it's a little absurd to them. Or Augustin Carstens at the BIS. Which, by the way, is our next piece of news. Bank of International Settlements has released a summary about this whole idea of launching this central bank digital currencies and all the different pilots and programs and this, that, and the other. And I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. You can breathe a sigh of relief, but I am going to show you here the central banks of Bahamas, Canada, China, Eastern Caribbean, Ghana, Malaysia, Philippines, Ukraine, Uruguay were discussed in the article. The World Bank was also a participant in the study. That's right, the same World Bank that considered in November that they classified XRP and XLM to be stable coins, which means price set. Keep that in mind. BIS has adopted a firm stance on the central bank's role in expanding digital economy as well as the need for cryptocurrency regulation. Now let's remember this about the BIS, the point that was made by Joe Endoso from Link2. The BIS has already given tacit approval to XRP because the UK, Singapore, UAE, Middle East, and Japan just to name a handful of places where there is clarity on the sovereign level of XRP as a virtual currency. Because all of those regions are tied into the BIS banking system and payment system, they would never allow those sovereign regions to pursue efforts using cross-border and settlement with XRP if they thought it was an issue in the banking system as a security. Period. Full stop. This is exciting news. This is a new website by Ripple right here. Look at this. And on this website, they're showing Bitcoin, dollars, euros. I mean, you name it. Yen. Look at this. It's either yen or Thai baht there. Then you see, look, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. They're showing all kinds of stuff here. XRP's just one of the things they deal with. Yeah. Look what else they show on here. Cross-border payments, crypto, liquidity, central bank, digital currencies. You know, they're setting the tone for where they're going, right? Real people in business are like, as an analogy, great hockey players or great soccer players. You don't focus on where the ball or the puck is. You focus on where it's going to. And this is where they're going to. Take a look at this really quickly here, because we're going to change gears and look at the case. I did a video this morning that really legal analysts are pointing to the fact that the Judge Torres is showing signs from her recent decision to shorten the case or summary judgment schedule by about 5 weeks, bringing it back into 2022. Is looking to end and clear this case by the end of the year and not go into 2023. But we are going to look at some information right here from a trusted friend and person in the space here, which is Jim Filan. And he's going to give us a few thoughts about how we may still go to 2023. And it's important we see both sides. And this is not to pit one against the other, but just to show both sides. And actually, I find it very healthy that we're seeing a couple different points of view at this crucial time about where this case may be or may not be. And I want to remind people that, remember, these legal analysts are providing their free insight by really looking at a small amount of information that they get access to, and they don't get to see everything. So they're trying to make the best judgment and keep all of us informed. So let's remember to be grateful for everybody's opinion and perspective on where the case is. But this is a reminder that Jeremy Hogan told us, oh, that is pleasant surprise. Judge Torres has really moved up the schedule for the summary judgment briefs to November 15th. What do I take from that? He takes from that she wants Ripple versus SEC case over before Christmas. Now, that would be very, very positive. Now, as a flip side to that coin is Jim Filan here shares that I have a few thoughts on the scheduling order. A couple weeks ago, I said that I thought briefing would start in July and end in November. That's where Judge Torres ended up, but only because that was the schedule that worked best for the court. Separate schedules were set for the motions challenging expert and for the summary judgment motions. That is important because of the 6-month rule, which incents judges to decide motions within 6 months after they are filed. The clock on the rule actually starts ticking 30 days after the motion is filed, so the judge gets a 30-day grace period. The 6-month lists are published twice a year on March 31st and September 30th. It says here, and only list motions pending longer than 6 months that are still pending on those dates. There's no real consequence for a judge's name to appear on the 6-month list, but judges generally want to avoid the public shaming, and Judge Torres has not, based on my research going back to September 30th, 2013, ever been on the 6-month list, so that's positive. But the opening expert motion briefs will be filed on July 12, 2022, so we can expect decisions on those on or before 6-month list is published on March 31st, 2023. The summary judgment motions will be filed on September 13, 2022, so those slide past to March 31st, 2023, he says. So 6-month lists allowing for the built-in 30-day grace period, but my prediction is that Judge Torres will decide both the expert motions and the summary judgment motions at the same time on or before March 31st, 2023. That is what she did in the Goldman Sachs case I discussed last week. He says, this is guesswork, obviously, but predictions that the case will be decided before the end of the year, respectfully, in my opinion, off the mark. I just don't see the judge deciding all these motions in 45 days after the last briefs were filed in November 15th, 2022, especially with the holidays sandwiched in between. While everyone wants things to move faster, it's better for the court to get it right than to get it done fast, and the right outcome is worth waiting a few more months for. Ripple lawyers have consistently shown that they know what they are doing, so I would sit back, be patient, and watch them work their craft. And I think this is a good temperament from Jim to remind all of us to, prepare for the worst amount of time and to hope for the best, because hoping for the best is knowing that there could be a settlement at any time. So there's nothing wrong with keeping both of these measures in mind as we move forward. That's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday. Check out all the links underneath the video. And I tell you, there are products and services I use each and every day with great specials and deals, but you got to click the links to get them. I'll catch all of you on the next one.